Alright people, now, from the last video, like I said, I got, at this time at pizza, I got cut down on hours. I was working 3 hours, 4 hours, 3 days, 4 days, some days, 4 days as management. But, they started hating on me. I want to do that management trick. So, that made our scorecard go down every day that I worked. Our scorecard would go down a little because I wanted lie, I wanted sin against God. I wanted, lie, so, or, will go up, our score will go up, or whatever. It is what it is. It is what it is. If you don't like it, fine. That doesn't mean it ain't right, or whatever. What you do for God is going to matter. So anyway, like 2 3 weeks after the driver killed, I was working Wednesday as manager and Sunday as manager. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday I work as cook. So Wednesday comes in, and I'm looking at the schedule, seeing everybody I work with or whatever, and reading our scorecard, reading what we need to work on, and new policy changes or manager notes or something like that. I was reading it all, and I got to this paper. I did not know what the paper was, so I asked the boss. I said, "Hey, what's going on in this paper?" He looked at me and said, "That's mountain guaranteed." So anyway, you can look at the paper and tell that, it showed how many people rang in, and it showed, it showed another, no, set of numbers. I guess that was the tip. So you guess it was the tip. So, and it, the third column, it had a dollar amount, but there only like, there wasn't any major money or whatever. It was like $1.50 or 3.50 or whatever. And the manager, the boss was, pissed. He was very, very upset. And he said these bringing the order right or whatever. You need to be on them to make sure they're putting in the right tip amount because it's putting in a scorecard. So I said, okay, boss. So I was like, I can do it. I was like, there ain't no problem. I was like, I follow your command. If you want me to do something, you're the boss or whatever, I'll do it. So, that's what I done. I went to the waitress, and, got 2 waitresses that were working, and I told them that they need to do it right, or, they need to do it, they're going to get in trouble, and I'm going to get in trouble if I don't say something to them about it. So they was like, okay, Charlie, he was like, we'll do that. So, the normal shift after work, the boss left and I was wearing the shift. And everything was cool. There was no problem at all. So, 3 weeks later, we're sitting there looking at the thing and it's all even. Nobody, no computer company didn't have to pay anybody extra. Tips were tips, and amount they was making on the shift, with the tips is legal and minimum wage. So they didn't have to pay the waitress any extra money because she was making minimum wage. So I was like, cool. I was like, that's good. I was like, because I was on to go. I was on them like clocking the right amount, clocking the right amount. And but I didn't count the money. I didn't make them count it in front of me. I just told them, you need to win the right amount. You won't get in trouble. So, like I said, this week went by and we was dead even or whatever. We didn't owe no money or anything. So I'm like, cool. Again, didn't have to be a dick. So when the boss left, the waitress came up to me and said, can you print me out a copy of my paycheck stub? Probably I can do that. So, we'll put it out, print it out for her, handed it to her, and I went back, I was working on dishes. So I was doing the dishes or whatever, and she comes over to me and says, Shorty, I got a problem. So I look at her and say, you know, what's going on? And she said, my paycheck studying right. I said, it ain't right now. It's like, when you forget to clock in, forget to clock out on the day. She was like, no, it's my tips. My tips are wrong. So I look at her and say, I don't know what you know, about your tips. I don't mess with your tips. You know, the hardest I'll go and change something with your clock in and your clock out time. Besides that, I don't know about you, what's going on with your tips. I was like, you know, that's the boss. I was like, that's all I can suggest. He knows about it probably more than I did, or something that way. So he says, alright, Charlie, so, I didn't say anything to him, and a week goes by, and, we're all at even again. And the manager, he said, yeah, he's like, these weeks are doing a good job. They're clocking in, the right amount and everything. So, Friday comes around. Friday morning, I'm the opening cook. He's the opening cook. He's the opening manager. So, we're there doing our thing or whatever. And he looks at me and says, I need to do some paperwork in the back. He's like, do you got this? I was like, yeah, that's right. I can handle it or whatever. Because, it's very good. So I said I can handle it. Because there wasn't nobody really in the dining room, from 2 to 4 or whatever. It's very, very dead, not business at all. I mean, sometimes you could send a cook home at 2, and the manager could take care of business until the night shift cook comes in. So, anyway, I told him, I said I can handle it, no problem. The wife said she can handle it, they need no problem. So, we're making orders or whatever, and, I get her a break. So I'll go in the back to get a drink of water. I'll go in the back to drink. I'll get out some of my Pepsi. And the manager is on the computer, and it got the silver name pulled up, and it shows her clock in time, clock out, and he was changing her number, her tip amount, to a bigger amount. So I look at him and say, hey dude, like, what you doing, man? And he was like, oh, I know these people more money than they're claiming. I'm just, making the numbers look good, correcting their mistake. I'm like, dude, you can't do that. No, it's like, that's fraud, that's messing with numbers. I was like, that's messing with someone's paycheck or whatever, He's like, it's hurting the scorecard and, not putting all their amount on it. And I'm like, dude, you don't know how much they're making on tips. You think you know or whatever, but you don't know. I say it's easy for you and for management to say, oh, they're making $200 worth of food in a 5-hour shift or whatever. It's easy to say, oh, they made this much on tips. But you don't know. You can have one table that'll get, a $50 order or a $40 order and just leave it on a tip. So it's very easy to bring in $200 worth of food and not even be tipped. Not to have a total amount of tips that equal $10, or whatever. So it's very easy, to get stiffed. I was like, you don't know if the waitress got stiffed or not. She could have bring in, a bigger number or amount. It could be a 4 top, 5 top, or whatever, and they don't even no tip. So, just saying that, oh, you're making this much money or whatever, you should have made this much tip. And all I got from him was, they're a good weight, they're going to tip. You don't know. I was like, you don't know if people are going to tip or not. You think someone should get that amount on tips in an hour or in a shift or whatever, but they don't make that. They don't make that all the time. I was like, you're not out there with the weights. You're not helping the weights. You're not out there talking to the weights. You don't know what goes on. Maybe, they can be the best game right out there, and they don't make money on tips. You can tell someone to tip or whatever. We don't add tips to the bill. Only when they want a tip, it's added to the bill. You know, but I said, you don't know. I said, if you equal you and poor American Pizza Company that sell this silver running this much food, in an hour or in a shift or whatever, you should have made this much money on tips. That's BS, dude. That's BS, and that's so wrong. Then he looks at me and asks me the question, or tells me the statement. So then he looks at me and says, I want you to start doing this. You need to start doing this. You need to get the numbers to good. I ain't doing that, dude. I don't care what you do. I'm not doing that to sin. I'm not going to sin against God. That's doing the waitress dirty. That's sinning against Him. I'm not going to do the waitress dirty. That's doing everybody at American Pizza Company that reads that information and believes it. That's a sin against them. And just like the driver saying, I told you, I'm not going to sin. I don't care what you do, what happens. Let it be, let it be. I'm not going to sin against God. I can tell them you're ringing the right amount or whatever, but, I ain't going to make them count. I ain't going to do anything. And I'm sure I ain't going to change the tip amount when they leave or, whatever, because you don't know if they're right. You think you do or whatever, but thinking and knowing is two different things. So no, I ain't going to do it. I was like, cut me down on hour. I said, I don't care if you cut me down on hours, if you fire me, wrap me up. Just like, the driver thing, I refuse to do it. I'm not going to do it. You can do it or you want to do it or whatever and let everybody be mad at you, but I ain't going to mess with the tip amount. Plain and simple. That's between you and them to get in trouble. I can tell them put in the right amount, but you can go in there and change it. You can mess with the numbers all you want, but they ain't gonna be on my hands. I ain't gonna change it. It is what it is. If they put in the wrong number, they're gonna have to pay for it. But I ain't gonna change their numbers. That's a sin against God. So he really had nothing to say to me, because I've said my piece or whatever. Ain't gonna do it. And guess what I got from it? I got cut down on hours. Even less hours this time. I was working Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I was working close and cook. That's from like 4:30 to close and close at 11 or whatever. Midnight, 11. So, I lost that shift and I got put down as prep cook, which is like 4:30 to 8:30. So, I was losing, a little bit of time there. So, it's like petty stuff. But, that didn't make me want to do, work differently or do anybody else. Oh, I better do it. I need more money. The only way I'm going to get more money is if I do something dirty. No, I ain't going to do something dirty. That's not right. Or whatever. Not doing them dirty because, the Lord may give you something for doing something dirty. But you want that down to the Lord while you did something dirty. And that's not going to be me, homie. I'm not going to do anybody dirty. Just make myself or make the store look better. Plain and simple. Ain't doing it, homie. So, people, if you agree with me, smash that like button. Subscribe to my channel. Comment down below. Let me know if you think I done the right thing or I should have went the way the management wanted me to do things. I done the way that God would probably, be happy with. Whatever, because, I can sin against them. They can be lying and putting false amount. And I can't go until they sin, so I'm going to go and sin. That's not right. One sin doesn't justify another sin. So I wasn't going to do them like that. Now I knew for a fact that, they counted it out in front of me and said, like $1, $2, $3. And they counted 16 out and they put 12 down. Yeah, I'd go to them and say, you're going to change it. But I wouldn't change it. I may go to the boss or whatever and say, this person done this, and maybe he would change it in the right way. Because, they know for a fact that, she made $16 on tips, but she only, claimed 12 of it. But, that's just the way it was or whatever. But sometimes when you do the right thing, you're going to get criticized. You ain't going to get greatness from treating people with respect. The world don't work that way. The world don't work that way. They're worried about what can they get from it or how can it benefit them. They don't think about anybody else. They think of themselves. Or they want that fame or they want that prestige. And they don't care who they have to screw over to get there. But, I'm not down with doing anybody dirty. So if you feel me, smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, turn them over to see on the flip side. Peace out, homie.